Hey guys, how are all of you beautiful people? Hope all of you are doing great. This is the second season of What If Naruto Was Madara's grandson. A medical student died because of negligence of the authorities. Later, he is granted a second chance in life with some boons. But being an Otaku and Naruto fan, he chooses to live in the chaotic world of Naruto. This is the season 2 of this series, and you can find the season 1 in my channel and in the same playlist. So relax and let us complete this wonderful story. In the ghastly pale and wan moonlight, the newly recruited members of 7 Mist Swordsmen stands at the outer edge of the Kiri village. The group stares at the premises of a clan building from a cliff as they discuss among themselves. Akifumi-sama passed his orders to slaughter the subsidiary clans of Terumi clan. Since we aim to weaken their power and influence, let's start with the Doku clan. This clan would prove quite troublesome, if not dealt early. Maingetsu stares at the buildings of the Doku clan as he orders the rest of the group. Slick. Kaizame licks his lips as he stares at the clan. Same Harder is quite hungry these past few days. I haven't gotten an opportunity to feed it. Looks like the time for the feast has come, Slick. Renjuro frowns as he remarks. Kaizame. I am sure you are aware of the abilities of the Doku clan. If not, let me remind you. Doku clan does not possess frightening fighting capability as a Shinobi clan, but their Keki Genkai poison release is a quite fearsome ability. Doku clan members can manipulate their chakra and surrounding water to create a deadly poison. Even their chakra contains poison. Once it comes in contact with water or mist, the poison will quickly spread in the surroundings. Their poison mist was feared among all other nations during previous Shinobi wars. One slight mistake, and you will be poisoned to death. Renjuro warns Kaizame. Don't be too reckless. Kaizame. Kaizame pats Same Harder as he draws it from his shoulder. Nah. Same Harder is way too gluttonous, it won't be affected by the poison. Poison will only numb its senses for a bit of time and will make it drunk. Same Harder may be immune to poison, but the same can't be said about you. Renjuro remarks. Who knows? Kaizame has a mysterious smile on his face. Focus on the mission, we have to do a clean job, we 3 will take care of the main fighting members of the Doku clan. The rest of the Anbus will take care of the remaining members. Maingetsu silences them as he plans out their attack. You are the leader. Kaizame raises his hands in agreement. Very well. Maingetsu signals to the rest of the Anbu members as he leaps from the cliff. Kaizame and Renjuro follows him. The moonlight slowly fades away as dawn appears on the horizon. Huff, huff. Bad news. Fuji-sama, bad news. Waken breathes heavily as he rushes through the corridors of the Terumi mansion. Fuji is sipping his morning tea with Elder Genji as they discuss various political matters. Bad news. Fuji-sama. Waken hurriedly pushes away the door and enters the room. Fuji and Elder Genji frown as both of them stare at Waken. Calm down. Waken. Fuji calms him down. Now explain. Waken takes a deep breath as he reports. Doku clan. Doku clan is gone. Fuji-sama. What? Fuji exclaims as he stands from his seat. What's the matter? Tell me every single detail of this matter. He grabs Waken's shoulder and questions him. Waken narrates the entire series of events to Fuji. Bam! Fuji stomps his foot on the floor as various cracks appear from the ground. Steam rises from Fuji's legs. Those noble clans bastards, they have done it now. We can't maintain our neutral stance any longer. Those bunch of lunatics murdered an entire clan of shinobis because they feared their prowess. Damn it. I can't stand them any longer. Now, only a war will calm my flames of fury. They have crossed the boundary with this move. Elder Genji clutches his staff in anger. First Yuki clan, now Doku clan, they are destroying the very foundation of the village. Doku clan with their poison release Keki Genkai was one of the major factors which lead to our victory in the Second Shinobi War. Bam! Elder Genji slams his stick on the floor. Immediately, summon all of our forces and the leaders of our ally clans. We have to counter-attack against the tyranny of noble faction. Elder Genji orders his subordinates. Later in the afternoon, Izuna is sitting beside Mai as he listens to the conversation of various clan leaders happening in the emergency meeting. He looks around and is unable to locate Utakata. So, they sealed the 6 tails inside him. I guess it will take some time for the seal to stabilize. The sealing formulas of Kirigakyo aren't as efficient as the Uzumaki clan. Izuna muses over the conversation of various clan leaders. So, the noble faction made their move and directly massacred the Doku clan. Izuna folds his hands below his chin as he ponders. Doku clan members possess the poison release Keki Genkai. I have met and done some missions with their members during these few previous months. Last night just happened to be the night where I returned to Konohigakyo. But I never expected such a thing from noble faction. Mai listens to the conversation as anger seethes in her eyes. Unforgivable, this act is unforgivable. Those noble faction members are a bunch of animals. They even massacred the innocent children and even civilians residing near the Doku clan. Izuna tries to calm her down. Lady Mai, we won't let them get away scot-free from this incident. All of them will pay for their crimes. Mai calms down a little as anger is still blazing in her eyes. We will hunt down their Anbu members, one by one. I will make them repay this debt of blood. She turns to Izuna and the group and discusses a plan with them. Let's go and investigate the clan district of the Doku clan. The group departs for the Doku clan district. Inside the Kiri village, the information of the wipeout of the Doku clan spreads like a wildfire across the village. Various rumors and hoaxes spread among various civilians. Many civilian shinobi starts to have second thoughts about the village. We don't want to get embroiled in this power struggle of shinobi clans. It is better to leave this bloody village as soon as possible. One of the civilian shinobi talks with his friend. Yes. I have similar thoughts. I don't want to die an untimely death. We civilians have no backing, and the higher-ups will order us to do their bidding during this war. I became a shinobi to feed my family, not to get tossed around by the whims of those higher-ups. Who knows, when will they send me on a suicide mission? His friend nods to him. Similar conversation occurs throughout the village as many shinobi plans to desert the village. Mai and the group walk through the village as she listens to one such conversation. Mai frowns, and an ugly expression appears on her face. If only the 4th Mitsukage could handle this matter more efficiently, then such a situation wouldn't have happened in the village. He is still yet to address the massacre of the Doku clan, when apparent involvement of noble clan is visible. Yagura is under Obito's control, and I have some doubts regarding this Akifumi of the noble faction. I must check on him. Zenjutsu tightly clutches his sword. Looks like I will soon get the opportunity to fight him. That sword style, it was his, there is no mistake in it. Izuna raises his head and looks at Harusame. He hasn't talked a single word since the meeting. I am sure he is upset about Utakata becoming a Jinchuki. I am not sure of his backstory, and I have no interest either. Time to put our plan in action. Mai signals them. The group walks towards the outskirts of Kiri and arrives in a dilapidated slum area. The area reeks of blood, piss, and poverty. Izuna frowns and turns towards Mai. Do you think it will work? Your idea to negotiate with the lower caste of Kiri. Most of them hate Kiri to their core, and if they are provided with an opportunity to slaughter, then they won't hesitate to do so. Sure. Mai places a finger on his mouth as she lowers her voice and whispers to him. Exactly, these groups of people are enemies of Kirigakyo, or to be exact, they are enemies of the higher caste. The noble faction has abused them since the era of the first Mitsukage, and over time their hatred turned into a deep-seated grudge. Mai smiles at him as she remarks. You mean to say that you will use the people of lower caste to fight against the noble faction? Izuna raises his eyebrow. Mai nods her head. Yes, these people have enough hate inside them to annihilate the noble faction. If I negotiate with them, then they will be able to help us deal with the noble faction. Will this idea of your work? What if these people backstab you and follow the noble clan? Won't our middle-class faction fall in trouble? Izuna questions her intention. No, they won't. Mai shakes her head. I have seen the harassment and abuse of noble faction on these people. Never in their sane mind will they betray us. All right, let's talk with them. Mai walks up to a nearby lower caste shinobi who has been scrutinizing them with a vicious gaze for a while. We have a deal for you. Take us to our leader. Mai cuts the chit-chat and jumps directly on point. Who are you? We have nothing to talk with higher class people. Get out of here, you are not welcome here. The shinobi waves his head in annoyance. Come on. I don't have time for this. I will do it my way. Izuna activates his Sharingan. Genjutsu, Sharingan. He casts a genjutsu on the shinobi. The shinobi walks deeper into the slums. Follow him. I think he is leading the way. Izuna follows him. Mai tilts her head in confusion but follows him nonetheless. How did he change his mind so suddenly? Inside the Terumi mansion. Fuji listens to Terumi's plan as he frowns. Mai, are you sure you can trust the people of the lower caste? Most of them are banished criminals, war prisoners, and even some ninjas who have fallen out of the grace. I don't think it is a good idea to employ them. Fuji rebukes her. Father, trust me on this matter. Mai had a resolute expression on her face. Sigh. Fuji sighs as he sees her resolve. Very well. I will trust you. But what did you promise them in return? Also, I still don't trust them, they might backstab us at any moment. Fuji warns her. Father. I promised them freedom. After the power struggle of Kiri is over, there won't be any caste system in Kiri. I want the division to be based on merit rather than the birth of a person. Mai states her opinion. I know it is easier said than done, but I will give it a shot. She continues. I believe in you. Mai. Fuji nods his head and discusses plans with Elder Genji. Elder Genji, now since we have the support of the lower caste, it would be easier to take on the noble clans. Elder Genji and Fuji strategize about the upcoming war for a power struggle. How was it? Did he agree? Izuna is resting against a wall as he questions my. Yes, father agreed to my plan. Mai nods her head in affirmation. I don't know how you did it, you were able to convince the leader of lower caste with a few words. Mai looks at Izuna in incredibility. It's my little secret. Izuna chuckles and walks out of the mansion. Now, how could I tell her that I just used Kotomatsu Kami on that poor guy? I just gave him a simple suggestion, that's all. Hey, tell me about it. Mai follows him. Both of them walk out of the Terumi mansion and disappear into the streets of Kiri. Elder Genji and Fuji look at their back as Fuji thinks to himself. Elder Genji, what are your thoughts on Yuito Yuki? Do you find him trustworthy? Or is he a spy? Fuji questions Elder Genji. It's hard to say, a nameless shinobi of his caliber just appeared out of nowhere. It seems too good to be true, but then there are various other shinobis hidden everywhere. Elder Genji shakes his head. Up till now, he had helped us a lot, be it saving Mai's life multiple times, completing various suicide missions or some other life-threatening tasks. We have tested his capabilities and loyalty multiple times. If he was an assassin, he had multiple opportunities to get rid of Mai, but he didn't do so. And a spy will remain hidden, he won't appear in open. Fuji remembers the various missions he had assigned to Izuna in these past few months. But I am willing to put my trust in him. Besides, I have yet to search for a suitable candidate for Mai to marry. I don't know how long will I able to live with this condition, but I want to see my Mai live a happy and cheerful life. This is the last of things I could do for her as her father. Sigh. Fuji sighs and turns around. Let's go, meet with the leader of lower caste, we are allies now, so we would need to show some respect to him, to win their trust. Ao and Waken follow after them. In a secret hideout. Obito stares at the map of Kiri laid on a table. The preparations are complete. It's time to execute the plan. He folds the map and swirls out of the hideout. Black Zetsu stares at his back and muses to himself. Mother, it won't be long before I free you out of your prison. You were right, Mother, these humans are such foolish creatures, they are delusional to their very core. Swoosh. He enters inside the ground and follows after Obito. I have recorded every incident of the Shinobi world into my memory. I will silently watch and record this moment too. Inside a large mansion in noble estate. Akifumi stares at the group of the Mist Swordsmen. All of you did pretty well. I am elated by your magnificent performance. Now, we have to eliminate one more ally clan of the Terumi clan, and the victory will be ours. We will crush their rebellion and make an example out of them. Akifumi clenches his fist. The position of leader of Kiri belongs to us. Mitsukage is just for namesake, he is nothing but a puppet of our elder council. Akifumi turns towards the Mist Swordsman group. I have another mission for you. He takes out a scroll from his pocket and passes it to Maingetsu. Maingetsu opens the scroll and notices the picture of a woman. She is Mai Terumi, the daughter of Fuji Terumi, and is the future successor of the Terumi clan. I sent multiple ninjas in various previous attempts to assassinate her, but alas, she survived, every one of them. Those bunches of incompetent shinobis of Anbu. They are useless. Akifumi gnashes his teeth. Anyway, I want you three to assassinate her, when you have an opportunity. Killing her will deal a fatal blow to Fuji Terumi's spirit, and we will be able to easily wipe them clean. Ha ha. Akifumi orchestrates a scheme to assassinate my. It won't be long before the entire Kirigakure will fall under my control. Grandfather, you founded this village and I will rule it. Akifumi is lost in his delusions. The mist swordsman walks out of the noble estate. All of them depart their way. Kai'Same looks at their departing back and sighs. Day after day. I spent my entire life searching for meaning in my life. He slowly walks towards the outer edge of the village. What am I living for? Friend. Images of his previous team with whom he completed various missions pop into his mind. No. He shakes his head. The world is full of lies. They betrayed the village, so I had to kill them. Kai'Same stares at his hands. These hands were once soaked in the blood of my comrades. I don't have any friends anymore. I killed them with these very hands. Kai'Same clutches his hands into a fist. Then what am I living for? Family. Memories of the orphanage appear in his mind, where he spent his entire childhood. No. I never had a family to begin with. I was an orphan from birth. Crack. Kai'Same clutches his hands tightly as bones crackle within them. Then where do I belong to? Who needs me in this world? Will I die a nameless death, in one of the remote corners of this world? He closes his eyes as he imagines the scenario of his death. A comrade killer like me, never had any place, to begin with. This world is built on lies, and in this deceitful world, I am just a worthless fool with no meaning whatsoever. Kai'Same slowly walks deeper inside the slums. That might not be true. A deep voice interrupts his thoughts. Who? Kai'Same immediately draws Same harder and points towards the newcomer. A masked figure walks out from the shadows and looks at him. You have your worth, you have your own role to play in this world. The masked figure slowly approaches him. Who are you? Reveal your face this instant or I will have to consider you as an enemy. Kai'Same warily points Same harder at the masked figure. I am Madara Uchiha. The masked figure slowly removes the right part of his mask to reveal his Sharingan. Kai'Same frowns as he stares at the Sharingan. Impossible. Madara Uchiha was killed by the first Hokage. Hashirama Senju, don't try to impersonate as him and try to fool me. Kai'Same attacks Obito with his sword. Swish. The sword passes through Obito's body without dealing any damage to him. What? Kai'Same's eyes widens as he stares at Obito. How is this possible? He gapes at Obito's invulnerability. Now, do you trust my identity as Madara Uchiha? No one, beside. Hashirama Senju was worthy enough to fight against me, but sadly, in our fight, due to a moment of letting down my guard, I lost the battle, and was almost killed by him. But I survived, and now I want to form an ideal world. Kai'Same silently listens to Obito's explanation. A world where no one will be forced to betray their friends and forced to kill them. A world where there are no lies or deception. A world of truth. Obito stretches as a hand towards him. Will you join me for my noble cause, and help in the salvation of this deceitful world? Kai'Same stares at the masked figure for a while before he replies. Let me think about it. I need some time to digest this information. Very well, tomorrow we will meet at the same spot, and I will reveal more information to you. Till then, farewell. Swirl. Obito swirls out of the place. Kai'Same looks at the empty space in front of him. A world of truth. In a small house in the middle of Kiri, Izuna is resting against a tree in the backyard as he watches Kimimro training. Izuna activates his Sharingan and inspects Kimimro's body. In the original timeline, he passed away from an unknown disease. I wonder if he still has that disease. Izuna uses his microscopic vision to check Kimimro's bones. He notices some tiny abnormal clumps of cells in Kimimro's bone marrow. This seems like cancer cells. Izuna frowns as he notices the cancer cells in Kimimro's bone marrow. Kimimro's Keki Genkai allows him to manipulate his bones. He can produce multiple bones from his body. This process is carried by the rapid replication of cells in his body. Most of the bone marrow cells are found in the spine, and I have seen him replicating his spine, and using it as a spear. Seems like the rapid multiplication has led to the development of cancer cells in his bone marrow. I would have to treat him soon, before cancer reaches the next stage. Cough, cough. Kimimro coughs a little as he is training. Seems like he has developed symptoms. Okay, it's enough for now, you can stop your training. Izuna stops him. He infuses some nature energy in Kimimro's body to rejuvenate him. Kimimro's bones absorb the chakra and turn in a shade of grey for a while before turning to normal. Izuna notices the peculiarity. He infuses more chakra in Kimimro's bones. The bones absorb more chakra and redirect it towards his bone marrow. The cancerous cells in Kimimro's bone marrows decline a little. This is interesting. I wonder if it was the reason. Kimimro has such a high affinity for the cursed seal of earth of Orochimaru. Well, he does possess Otsutsuki bloodline, and thus a connection to the Sage of Six Paths. Maybe it is the reason Orochimaru was able to prolong Kimimro's life for such a long period by using the cursed mark. Izuna stops infusing nature energy in Kimimro's body. The cancer cells in the bone marrow start to slowly replicate again. Looks like he needs a constant supply of nature energy to prevent the multiplication of cancer cells. Izuna starts to make some hand signs. I have researched Orochimaru's seal present on Anko, and I have a gist of it. Orochimaru stored a fragment of his soul and will inside the cursed seal to revive himself, if he dies somehow. Otherwise, he can also use it as a medium to take over the body of the inflicted person. In a sense, it is similar to karma seals of the Otsutsuki clan, but it is a watered-down version of karma seals. I wonder, where did Orochimaru get his hands on such a powerful sealing technique? Izuna continues to make multiple hand signs. A black sealing formula appears in his hands. He places his hand near Kimimro's spine. Orochimaru's seal was meant for his revival, but my seal will function as a nature energy battery. It will passively absorb a little amount of nature energy from the surroundings and infuse it in his spine to prevent the production of more cancer cells. Sizzle. Sizzle. Ah. Kimimro grimaces in pain. Hold on for a minute. I am treating you. The sin seal on Izuna's hand activates and infuses some energy with the seal on Kimimro's hand. What's this sin seal trying to do? Orange-black marks appear on Kimimro's spine. The sealing formula completes and forms 3 tomo arranged in a circle around a black dot in the center. Izuna frowns as he stares at the seal. It turned out to be different than I expected. He turns to Kimimro and questions him. Kimimro, how are you feeling now? Kimimro wears his kimono and stretches his arms and muscles. Angel-san. For some reasons, I feel great and full of energy right now. All of my fatigue and exhaustion are gone. I can continue my training. Well, don't push yourself too hard. Izuna shakes his head and closes his eyes. Kimimaro continues his training. There seems to be no problem with the seal. I wonder what changes the Sin seal made to it. Well, I figure that out in the future. Izuna stretches his hands and yawns lazily. Sadly, I have made no progress with the Keki-ishi. It is some hard to balance, 4 elements together. I don't want to repeat the same mistake and blow myself again. Maybe I will take a break from the training. He takes out a picture from his pocket and lovingly stares at it. Ayaka is already 2 years old now. I am such a terrible brother, for not spending enough time with her. After the civil war in Kiri ends, I will spend more time with her, and teach her. I don't want to spoil her too much. Shinobi world is a cruel world. Weakness is a sin here. I will give her my share of love, but I won't hold back on her training. He continues to stare at the picture. Yuito. Yuito, are you there? Yuito. A sweet female voice interrupts his thoughts. Izuna immediately pockets the picture and walks to the front yard. I am here, did something happened? He notices a grim expression on Mai's face. Yes. Something terrible happened, quick. I will explain it during our journey. For now, we need to move out. Yo. Zenjutsu waves his hand at him. Let's go. Izuna nods his head and follows after them. Swoosh. Swoosh. The group quickly flickers out of the Kiri. While traversing through the forest, Izuna turns to Mai and asks her. Okay. What's the matter? Can you inform me now? Mai nods her head. It's like this, the civil war in the Kiri has drawn the attention of the daimyo. It has been 2 months since we collaborated with the lower caste. The murder and massacre have become a common thing on the streets. The economy of the village has plummeted to rock bottom. The already unstable land of water has further descended in chaos. Mai takes a deep breath before she continues her explanation. The daimyo of Land of Water grew frustrated by the situation, since the flow of money stopped in the land. He suffered a massive loss in his business, so he scheduled a meeting between various factions for peaceful negotiation. Izuna nods his head. Yes. I heard about it. What's the big deal? This is a big matter. Earlier this morning, Father and the elder Genji secretly departed towards the center of the Land of Water for the meeting. He only brought some of his trusted people with him. Well, that's normal after all. Too many people will leak the information of his whereabouts and the route he takes to reach Land of Water. Izuna nods his head. No, the thing is, the information of his departure was somehow leaked to his enemies. They are already on their way to assassinate him. Mai informs with a panicked expression. What? How? How did the information got leaked, and how did you came to know of this? Izuna questions her. Someone informed me, to be exact, one of the members of the 7 Mist Swordsmen. His name is Renjuro and he is the wielder of Hiramekaya. He didn't know about the name of the spy, but he informed of this matter before vanishing from my sight. I don't know if I can trust this information, but I want nothing to happen to my father. Mai answers him. This could be a trap, maybe they are trying to lure you out, and assassinate you. Izuna speculates. It could be. That's the reason I came to you for help, and I came across Zenjutsu along the way. Fine, let's go. We have to hurry up. Izuna increases his speed. Mai and Zenjutsu follows his pace. Renjuro and Hiramekaya. I wonder if there is some connection with Joharo. Looks like the civil war is about to end soon. Inside the forest, a group of 3 people hides on top of a tree, as they silently wait for their prey to arrive. We never got a chance to assassinate my Terumi during these past 2 months, but Fuji Terumi is fine too. It is a pleasant opportunity to get rid of him. Maingetsu stares at the deeper parts of the forest. Same Hada is thriving for more chakra. I hope they have strong people with them. Kaizame caresses his blade. We are in the middle of an assassination, a powerful foe is the least we would like to ask for. Renjuro rebukes him. But Same Hada doesn't like the taste of chakra of a weakling. Kaizame retorts. HMPH. Rijiro snorts and stops talking. He has a slightly worried expression on his face. Joharo. I am doing this for your sake. I have seen the ways of the noble clan, and I don't think they have a chance in this war. I hope you will be able to find a better life ahead of you. Cough. Cough. He coughs out some blood from his mouth. Renjuro quickly wipes away the blood. Maingetsu raises his head. He notices a giant lava ball moving towards them. Get on your guard, it is an enemy attack. Maingetsu cups his hands together and stretches them towards the lava ball. Water release, water hail. He fires a barrage of small water bullets from his hands. The bullets nullify the lava ball. Ice release, shard hailstorm. Multiple ice shards attack them from all directions. Kaizame jumps in front of the attack and makes multiple hand signs. Water release, exploding water colliding wave. He spits out a great volume of water from his mouth. The water surges towards the ice shards and blocks the attack. The ice hail freezes the entire water, leaving behind a large trail of ice. Renjuro swings his blade Hiramekaya, releasing multiple light blue senbons towards the ice. The senbons pierces through the ice, shattering in the process. The surprise attack was a failure. I never expected the enemy to be this skilled. Mai frowns as she warily inspects the group of mist swordsmen in front of her. Flashback no jutsu. Mai and the group dashes through the forest to intercept the enemies. It will take too long for us to catch up with the group. Izuna comments. Then do you have a faster way to reach there? Mai anxiously asks him. Well, if I use my normal speed, then it won't take me long to catch up with the group, but I am hiding my identity here. Oh. I almost forgot about it. Izuna makes some hand signs and slams his palm on the ground. Summoning jutsu. A large summoning seal appears on the ground. Poof. A giant brown eagle appears inside the smoke. Izuna jumps on its back and signals Mai and Zenjutsu. Hop on. It will be much faster through the air. You should have done it earlier, Mai complains. I almost forgot about it. Izuna scratches the back of his head. Well, it's not too late. Hold tightly, we are going full speed. Izuna instructs them. He gently pats the eagle's head. Scree. The eagle screeches and instantly speeds up. Fast, that's too fast. Mai grabs his waist to take support. Zenjutsu grabs his leg to support himself. What's with this situation? Anyway, it was a nice idea to form a summoning contract in Shikotsu Forest. Well, I formed a summoning contract with all the summons of the Shikotsu Forest. Whoosh! The eagle increases its speed by another notch and whizzes through the air. It reaches supersonic speeds and breaks past the sound barrier. Mai tightly hugs his waist as she looks around. At this rate, we will be able to overtake the father's group in a few more moments. But at this speed, I can't spot a thing. Mai sighs in relief. Whoosh! The eagle continues to soar for half an hour. Found them. Izuna stops his eagle above the clouds as he observes Fuji and his group moving towards the center of the land of waves. They are right below us. Izuna points out the location of Fuji to Mai and Zenjutsu. Man, you have quite the sharp eyes. Zenjutsu stares at the escort group as they appear as small as ants in his vision. I just have good eyes. Izuna chuckles and turns towards Mai. So, do you want to group up with your father? No. Mai shakes her head in denial. He won't allow me to, he is worried about my safety, and would probably send me back. We should move forward and ambush the enemy. She suggests to them. Are you sure it is a good idea? What if the enemies outnumber us? He questions her decision. It is fine. We have your eagle with us. We will survey the situation from above, and if there are too many enemies, we will retreat and regroup with father's group to support them. Mai forms a plan. Well, you call shots here, so it's fine with me. Izuna pats Eagle's head. The eagle speeds and disappears on the horizon. The group moves for another hour before they spot the mist swordsman. Enemy. Up ahead. Izuna warns them. Mai frowns and questions him. How many? I can see 3 people with peculiar swords in their hand. Izuna describes their appearance to them. It is them, the newly formed mist swordsman. Mai recognizes the features of one of them. Zenjutsu clutches his blade. The time for our showdown has finally arrived. Let's engage them. I think we have a chance against them. Mai signals Izuna. Izuna lowers the altitude. Mai jumps from the top of the eagle and makes some hand signs. Lava release, lava meteor shower. She fires a giant lava meteor ball towards the enemy group. At present, Izuna and Zenjutsu jump behind Mai and groups with her. The eagle nods its head and disappears in a poof of smoke. Catching. Zenjutsu draws out his blade from the sheath and points towards Mainjutsu. He is mine, don't interfere in our battle. Zenjutsu dashes towards Mainjutsu with a blade in his hand. Mainjutsu frowns as he notices Zenjutsu. I will handle this bastard. He makes some hand signs. Water release, water gun. Bang. He shoots a small water bullet from his finger. Catching. Zenjutsu slices the water bullet with his sword. He makes some hand signs in retaliation. Water release, water jet pistol. Zenjutsu points his sword towards Mainjutsu and fires a jet of high-pressure water. Bang! Mainjutsu blocks the attack with his sword and engages Zenjutsu in a sword fight. I have some questions to ask from him. Mai points towards Renjuro. Boil release, corrosive mist breath. She releases a highly acidic mist from her mouths. Hiramekaya, release. Renjuro swings his sword and disperses the mist. He dashes towards a hill and Mai follows after him. So, I guess, you will be my opponent then. Kai's aim stars at Izuna. Well, I don't know how to feel about it. Izuna cracks his neck and stares towards a tree. So both Obito and Black Zetsu are monitoring the situation. As much as I would like to kill them now, if I did so, I might spark the attention of Ishiki Otsutsuki. Black Zetsu is Kaguya's will and Ishiki was her partner. I don't know if he is aware of Black Zetsu, and is monitoring him through some secret techniques. Kaizame places his blade beside him and quickly makes multiple hand signs. Water release, 4 shark shower. He slams his palm on the ground. Rumble. Rumble. A large surge of water erupts from the ground. The water forms a group of 4 water sharks which rushes towards Izuna. Izuna makes some hand signs and stretches his hands towards the sharks. Ice release, 1 horned white whale. He creates a humongous ice whale. The whale slams into the water sharks and freezes them. Shatter. The ice whale and the water sharks shatter into multiple ice shrapnel which launches towards Kaizame. Clang, clang, clang. Kaizame blocks the ice shrapnel with his blade. Ha ha. Kaizame grins as he looks towards Izuna. It has been a while since I came across such an opponent. Even Same Harder is happy to fight against you. Entertain me while you can. He grabs the giant shark blade and swings it towards Izuna. Clank. Izuna blocks the attack with a kunai. Clank, clank. Both of them exchanges a few blows. Skewer. The shark's skin rips apart the bandage tied on the blade and attacks Izuna. Clank. Izuna makes an ice kunai and blocks the attack. Oh, no one has ever been able to escape unscathed from this surprise attack. You are the first person to do so. Kaizame is surprised to see Izuna block his attack. Whoosh. Kaizame performs a backflip and creates some distance between them. He makes multiple hand signs and directs his palm towards Izuna. Water release, water shark bomb jutsu. He manipulates a large amount of water and directs it towards Izuna. The water shapes into a giant water shark and opens its enormous mouth to bite Izuna. Let me see, how are you able to dodge this? You talk too much. Izuna makes some hand signs and thrusts his hand forward. Ice release, ice dragon blizzard. He sends a gigantic dragon of ice to intercept the shark. Boom. The shark and the ice collide with each other and explodes. Ha! Kaizame smirks and makes a ram hand seal. The water droplets in the surroundings turn into multiple small sharks and attack Izuna. Water release, 1000 shark shower. In response, Izuna clasps his hands together. Ice release, swallow snowstorm. Many surrounding ice splinters turn into small ice swallows and collides with the small water sharks, freezing and shattering them in the process. No one except Mainjetsu has been able to make me sweat this much in a while. What's your name? I will remember you as a worthy opponent before I kill you. Kaizame questioned him. You seem pretty confident about killing me. Boom. Boom. Various explosion occurs in a distance as Zenjutsu fights against Mainjetsu. Water release, hydrification technique, great water arm technique. Zenjutsu raises his right arm. The arm absorbs the moisture from the body and compresses it into the arm. The muscles of the arm enlarge and gets strengthened. Zenjutsu clutches his sword with the right hand and performs a spin in air before slamming the sword towards Mainjetsu. Kenjutsu, decapitation strike. Bam! Mainjetsu blocks the attack with this blade. Swoosh! The force from the attack sends him flying. Whoosh! He performs a somersault in air and steadily lands on the ground. Whoosh! Zenjutsu strengthens his leg muscles using the hydrification technique and increases his speed. He instantly appears in front of Mainjetsu and slashes his sword at him. Clang! Mainjetsu blocks the strike. Crumble. The ground beneath him caves in. He struggles to push the blade away from his throat. Crack, crack. Some cracks appear on his blade. TCH. Mainjutsu clicks his tongue. Water release, hydrification technique, jet pump kick. He enlarges his right leg and kicks Zenjutsu away. In all those years, your skills have improved Zenjutsu. You forced me to use one of the 7 swords. Mainjutsu makes some hand signs and summons a scroll in front of him. He slams his palm on one of the seals on the scroll and summons a blade. Behold Kabutowarai. Mainjutsu wields a peculiar sword with a giant axe on one end tied to a hammer on the other end with a thin, leather-like rope. Zenjutsu makes some hand signs and slams his palms on the ground. Water release, Tateboshi. A giant gust of water erupts from the ground. The water turns into a giant pufferfish and moves towards Mainjutsu. Mainjutsu raises his hand in the air with the axe part of the blade in his right hand and the hammer part in the left hand. Kenjutsu, Kabutowarai, Deep Earth Slash. He infuses some chakra into the blade and slams it on the ground. Rumble, rumble. Ground tremble underneath his strike as the blade releases a vertical blade of energy towards the pufferfish. Kenjutsu, Kabutowarai, Endless Heaven Smash. Bang. He slams the blunt part of the axe with the hammer. Boom. The axe and the hammer releases a shockwave which tears through the ground and smashes into the pufferfish. Boom. The pufferfish disperses into countless raindrops, and the shock wave pushes Zenjutsu. Zenjutsu holds his blade horizontally in his hands and infuses chakra into the blade. Kenjutsu, Suryuduikan, Halo Dance of Waning Moon. The blade glows with a cyan hue. Zenjutsu slashes it horizontally towards Mainjutsu. The blade releases a cyan blade of water. The cyan blade slashes through the shockwave and travels towards Mainjutsu. Mainjutsu frowns as he looks at the cyan blade. Water release, hydrification technique. His body turns into the water as he receives the attack. Bam! The cyan blade slams into his liquefied body and throws Mainjutsu in the air. Cough! Cough! Mainjutsu holds his chest as slowly stands up from the rubble. Now, die, it's time to end our long rivalry. Zenjutsu swings the blade towards Mainjutsu's neck. Slash. He slashes Mainjutsu's body in half. Plop. Mainjutsu turns into a puddle of water and falls on the ground. A water clone. Zenjutsu frowns. He immediately turns around and blocks an attack from the real Mainjutsu. Kenjutsu, Shibuki, Bakuto Ren. Mainjutsu swings a giant sword. The sword has 2 distinct sides with a narrow cutting edge on one side and a broad platform with a scroll attached to the other side. The scroll unfolds and releases multiple explosive tags from it. Explode. Mainjutsu makes a hand sign. The explosive tags on the blade glow brilliantly. Boom. Boom. Zenjutsu is blown away by the explosion. Bang. He smashes through multiple trees and finally collides in a giant tree. Cough, cough. He coughs out a mouthful of blood. Mainjutsu slowly walks towards him. You are too soft, just like your father. He lifts the blade and slashes Zenjutsu. Near a cliff on top of a hill. Mai is fighting against Renjuro as she questions him. What are you trying to achieve through this? You are the one who informed me of this ambush and now you are fighting against me. Renjuro silently makes some hand signs. Water release, great waterfall technique. He spits a huge amount of water from his mouth. The water cascades into a spinning vortex, destroying land and trees along its way as it travels towards Mai. Mai frowns as she looks at this jutsu. He is not pulling back his punches, in that case. Mai makes multiple hand signs. Lava release, melting apparition technique. She spits out a large amount of lava from her mouth. The lava raises everything to ashes as it collides with the giant vortex of water. Boom! The clash between two jutsus produces a large amount of mist which hinders their vision. Renjuro grabs his blade as he makes some hand signs. Water release, hiding in the mist technique. He slowly vanishes in the mist and moves towards Mai. This is looking bad for me. Mai makes some hand signs. Boil release, skilled mist technique. She exhales a small amount of mist which encompasses a small area around her. Sizzle. Sizzle. She senses some disturbance in her mist. Clang. Mai immediately draws out a kunai from her holster and blocks an attack from Renjuro. Hey! What are you trying to achieve through this? You first informed me about the ambush, and now you are attacking me. Was it a part of your plan? Clang. She questions him as she blocks another strike from him. No, it's not a trap. I called you here for a purpose. Renjuro replies to her as he disappears in the mist. Silent killing. He is utilizing the art of silent killing, one of the sword art of mist swordsmen. I have a younger brother called Chojuro, both of us were orphans. Akifumi-sama adopted us from the orphanage. He raised us and trained us to wield a sword. Clang. Mai blocks another attack from Renjuro. Chojuro is such a clumsy child, he can't properly handle a sword, so I was chosen to become a member of the Mist Swordsmen. Cough, cough. Renjuro coughs a little blood from his mouth. He stops his attack and appears in front of Mai. During all these years, I saw all the horrendous deeds committed by Akifumi-sama. I even did many dirty jobs for him, all these years. I came to know about the dark side of the shinobi world. I have always thought to myself, what if something similar happened to me and Chojuro? Renjuro draws high blade again and attacks Mai. Clang. Mai blocks the attack. So I thought of repenting my crimes. I thought of abandoning my position as a mist swordsman and thought of defecting from the village together with Zabuza, but Chojuro is still under their control. I can't leave him alone, in all these years. I, cough, gained nothing but this disease. Renjuro coughs another mouthful of blood. I don't have long enough time to live and watch Chojuro grow, so when I heard about the tension between the factions, I thought of defecting for Chojuro's sake. Renjuro throws a scroll towards Mai. Mai catches the scroll and notices a location marked on the map. This is the location of ambush plotted by Akifumi, he is personally involved in this ambush. As for the fight, I wanted to test your strength and see for myself, now. Renjuro stops all of his movements. He wields the Hiramekaya blade in his hands. Snip. The blade separated in two separate dual blades. Here is my final attack. If you can block this attack, then I will at least die happily as Chojuro would be in safe hands, if not then you will die together with me. Renjuro takes a sword stance. Kenjutsu, Hiramekaya, Bloody Mist Sword Art, Bone Mutilation. Both blades glow with a pale blue light. Renjuro slashes them towards Mai. Now, watch out for my attack. Swish, swish. Multiple large pale blue chakra blades shoot towards Mai. Mai's expression turns serious. I have to give my all to counter this attack. Mai clasps her hand together as she riles up her chakra. Lava release, bone ash annihilation meteor. She directs her hands towards the multiple chakra blades. Boom! A large lava meteor appears behind her. The meteor smashes into the multiple chakra blades. Boom! Boom! The chakra swords bombard the meteor. Boom! The meteor explodes, annihilating the swords. A giant pool of lava forms on the ground. Mai faints from chakra exhaustion. Renjuro stands at the edge of the cliff as he stares at the lava pool. Guess. I made the right choice. He closes his eyes and silently falls from the cliff into the bottomless abyss of the mist sea. Oh! Those are some big words coming from your mouth. Izuna stares at Kai'Same. He makes some hand signs and slams his palm on the ground. Let me see if you can handle this. Ice release, frost apocalypse event. Rumble. Rumble. The ground beneath them shakes as the surrounding temperature falls below the freezing point. A chill runs through Kai'Same's spine. I have to stop him before he completes his jutsu. He grabs Same Harder's handle and yells. Same Harder, transfer me some chakra. Same Harder follows his order and transfers an enormous amount of chakra to Kai'Same. His skin turns blue as shark gills and fins appear on his body. He clasps his hand together and stretches them towards Izuna while infusing a massive amount of chakra in his attack. Water release, Great Shark Bullet technique. Kai'Same creates a gigantic water shark from his chakra and launches it towards Izuna. The shark opens its enormous mouth as it bites everything along its way and grows stronger by each second. The shark arrives before Izuna in just an instant as it tries to swallow him. Too late. Izuna finishes his hand signs and claps his hands together. Release. Whoosh. A chilling wind blows through the entire area, covering the entire forest in ice. The water shark instantly freezes into ice. Clatter, clatter. It shatters into countless fragments of ice and falls on the ground. The entire land is covered in snow as it continues to rain down snow. Kai'Same's body gets frozen into an ice sculpture. Clatter, clatter. Obito clatters his teeth as his body starts to freeze. What kind of jutsu is this? Such powerful forbidden jutsu. If not for Hashirama cells, my body would have been frozen by now. Boom! Izuna hears an explosion in a distance. That's from Mai's location. He quickly dashes in Mai's direction. Ki, quick, grab him. Even my body is starting to freeze now. Black Zetsu reminds Obito. Obito immediately approaches the Kai'Same ice sculpture and stores him in his kamue. We have to thaw him out of ice. But for now, let's get out of here. Swirl. Obito and Black Zetsu teleport from the ice hell. Slash. Mainjetsu slashes his blade at Zenjutsu. Ha! Zenjutsu smirks as he stabs his blade in ground. You lowered your guard. Kenjutsu, Suryuduikan, blade crucifixion, death by 1,000 cuts. Slash, slash. Almost 1,000 glowing chakra blades erupt from the ground. Hydrification technique. Mainjetsu yells immediately. His body turns into the water to avoid the physical attack. It's useless. These blades are infused with chakra. Stab, stab. The blades stab through Mainjetsu's body. His body turns into a jelly-like state as it slowly converts into a puddle of water. Cough, cough. I did it. I brought honor to you, father. Zenjutsu slowly closes his eyes as blood continues to spill from his wounds. No, not like this. I won't die alone. I will take you with me. A hand comes out from the puddle of water. There is a long needle sword held in the hand. Kenjutsu, new Ibari, why a crucifixion? The hands stab the needle through Zenjutsu's throat. Guffaw. Zenjutsu coughs out a mouthful of blood as he struggles to breathe. Zenjutsu infuses more chakra in his sword as the blade pierces through the puddle of water, silencing it completely. Guess, in the end, like father, I will also die a meaningless death because of a foolish rivalry. I only came to know of this fact at my deathbed. Zenjutsu's vision blurs as his eyes shut down. Izuna immediately approaches the direction of the explosion. He notices a giant pool of lava at the center of the pool. A frown appears on his face as he notices Mai lifelessly lying on the ground. He quickly approaches her and checks her pulse. Phew! She is alive, she just ran out of chakra. Izuna makes some hand signs and grabs her hand. Chakra transfer. He transfers some of his chakras to Mai while rejuvenating her with nature energy. Mai slowly opens her eyes as she looks around. A handsome face appears in her vision as she is lying in Izuna's lap. What happened? She quickly distances herself from Izuna as a slight blush appears on her face. Cough, cough. Izuna coughs a little to remove the awkwardness. So, what happened here? Where is the enemy? He asks her. He is gone, forever. Mai points towards the cliff. Izuna understands her gesture and nods his head. So, did he give you any information? Mai immediately passes the scroll to Izuna. Izuna opens the map and notices the marked location. It is situated on the alternate route of the escort group. We have to hurry up. Mai slowly stands up and tries to walk. She staggers and falls to the ground. I am still weak from the chakra exhaustion. She takes out a chakra pill from her storage scroll and consumes it. We don't have time to wait for your recovery. Izuna grabs her by the waist and Princess carries her. What are you doing? Put me down. Mai protests. Listen, we don't have time for this banter, your father needs your help. Mai hesitatingly nods her head and stops struggling. Let's pick Zenjutsu too, that guy is like a cockroach, he won't die easily with his water body. Izuna closes his eyes and senses Zenjutsu's chakra. A frown appears on his face. His chakra signature is too weak. He immediately dashes in Zenjutsu's direction. He arrives at the location to see a needle sword stabbed through Zenjutsu's throat. He places Mai against a tree as he approaches Zenjutsu. Zenjutsu. Izuna immediately pulls out the sword while he treats him with mystic palm technique. Oi! Zenjutsu. Open your eyes, you can't die like this. You are an unkillable cockroach, just open your eyes, you can't die like this. Izuna infuses nature chakra in Zenjutsu's body while treating his wound with mystic palm. Zenjutsu slowly opens his eyes as he stares at Izuna. It's futile. I won't live longer, my end has come. Zenjutsu places a hand on Izuna's shoulder. It was fun to know you. I hope I will be able to have a friend like you in my next life. Zenjutsu closes his eyes. Name. Tell me your real name. Zenjutsu asks him. No Yuki clan member can use such a high-level medical technique. You are not a Yuki clan member, so at my last moments at least tell me your real name. Izuna opens his eyes and activates his main Gekyo Sharingan. Amenomine Kanishi. Izuna activates his main Gekyo ability as he stops time. He holds Zenjutsu's hand to remove the effect. Zenjutsu slowly looks around and notices everything frozen in a place. This is. His eyes widen as he notices everything frozen around him. Zenjutsu turns towards Izuna and notices his Sharingan and real face. Haha, as I expected, who could it be except the silent Shinigami of the Shinobi world? There is no ninja as talented as you. Zenjutsu chuckles as he struggles to utter more words. Izuna clutches his right hand as he tries to communicate with the Sin Seal. Sin Seal, damn it, listen to me, save him, like Minato and Kushina. I made a friend in this Shinobi world, and he is on the verge of death, save him. The Sin Seal remains dormant without any activity. Damn it. Damn it. Izuna smashes his fist on the ground. Crack. A crack appears on the ground. Just give up on me. Zenjutsu holds his hand. I don't have much time, here take this sword as my present for you. Zenjutsu passes his sword to Izuna and slowly closes his eyes. Remember what I said about the origin of 7 swords of the mist. It is the 8th sword out of the 7. No one was able to use it. Even now. I don't know what else is it capable of, just take this sword as a memento from me. Zenjutsu slowly passes the sword to Izuna as he breathes his last. Damn it. Damn it. Even if we knew each other for a few days, but I came to consider you as a friend. Izuna holds the sword in his hand. A strange feeling wells up within him as he feels a strange connection to the sword. He ignores this feeling and stows the sword into his storage scroll. Bam. Bam. Izuna digs a grave near Zenjutsu's body and places him inside it. I won't allow anybody to pilfer your remains and disrupt your rest. He makes multiple hand signs and places various Fuinjutsu seals around Zenjutsu's grave. Release. Izuna releases his space-time ability and walks towards Mai. Zenjutsu has left this world. He emotionlessly informs her. Mai silently nods her head. He makes some hand signs and slams his palm on the ground. Summoning Jutsu. Izuna summons his eagle and moves towards the escort group. We will unite with the escort group and face the attack of the enemy together with them. Mai silently stares at Izuna's solemn face while sitting on top of the eagle. Is this the face of a man who lost his friend? Is this how father felt all those years when he lost his friends and family? No. I don't want to lose my father. She clutches her fists tightly. They travel for another hour before they spot Fuji and his escort group. Ao frowns as he notices some chakra signatures. He activates his Bakugan and notices Izuna and Mai flying towards them. Ao turns towards Fuji and informs him. A frown appears on Fuji's face. This girl, why did she come all the way here? The eagle lands in front of the group and Mai jumps down and rushes towards Fuji. Fuji stops her and questions her. What's the meaning of this, Mai? You were supposed to stay in the village, under Terumi clan's security. Fuji notices the worn-out condition of Mai as his frown deepens. Father. You can accuse me later, but listen to me first. She thrusts the scroll into Fuji's hands and narrates the entire series of events to the group. Sigh. Fuji sighs to himself as he laments Zenjutsu's death. His father was my savior. He saved my life during the Second Shinobi War. I can't even take care of his only son, what kind of friend am I? It's not the time for the mourning, we have to move forward, or else his sacrifice will go in vain. Elder Genji reminds him. Sigh. Fuji sighs again and continues his journey. Izuna moves alongside them as he recalls his journey in the shinobi world. As an otaku, I thought the Naruto world would be an interesting place, from the anime and manga I read. I always find it fascinating when a bunch of shinobis throw around their cool jutsu, but I guess I was naive back then. My powers might have made my life a bit easier, but there is still pain, suffering, and death in this world. There is no true peace in this world. Only endless conflict and war. If there is no conflict, then the human will create a new one. It is the nature of man. Inside the storage scroll, the sword continues to glow with a cyan hue as many strange seals appear on its entire blade. Father, we can't move along this route. There is an ambush up ahead. Terumi warns Fuji. I know. Fuji nods his head. Father, we can't follow. Wait, you know about it. Mai's eyes widen as she stares at her father. Yes. I know about the ambush, and I even know about the identity of the spy, or to say, traitor. Fuji folds his hands in front of his chest as he stares at the people in his group. Tap, tap. Elder Genji taps his staff on the ground. Whoosh. He erects a barrier around the group. No one will get away from here. He clutches the head of his staff. The expression of the escort group turns ugly as they stare at Elder Genji. What's the meaning of this? Elder Genji. Do you question our loyalty? One of the shinobi angrily stares at Elder Genji. Yes, what's the meaning of this? Many voices of discontent rings in their ears. Waken silently stares at the group of people as clenches his fist. What's going on? Did Fuji found the traitor? Waken clenches his fists and looks towards the group of shinobis. Calm down everyone, no one here doubts your loyalty. But some precautions are always needed, in case things may go south. Fuji calms then down as his gaze falls on Waken. Am I right? Waken. Of course, we can't allow the traitor to get scot-free from this such treacherous deed. Waken nods his head in agreement. Oh. That's unexpected. Did they figure out the identity of the traitor? Izuna gets out from his thoughts as his gaze lands on Waken. What, father? You know about the traitor? My questions Fuji. Yes, it has been a while since I came to know of this matter. Fuji turns towards Ao. It was thanks to Ao's keen observation, we could figure out the identity of the traitor, and this escort trip was a trap to lure out the enemy and deal with them in one fell swoop. Fuji chuckles as he waves his hands. Whoosh, whoosh. Multiple figures wearing Anbu costumes surround the area. Then, who is the traitor? Mai asks him. Fuji turns towards Waken. Why don't you turn yourself in? Waken. Isn't it about time to put an end to that act of yours? Fuji walks in front of Waken and stares him in the eyes. What? The eyes of the rest of the people in the group widen as they stare at Waken in bewilderment. What? Uncle Waken was the spy, he was the traitor who revealed the information of our every move to the enemies. Mai looks towards Waken with disbelief in her eyes. Izuna silently rolls his eyes. Took them long enough to figure this out. He activates his Sharingan and stares at Waken's chakra network. The flow of Waken's chakra is turbulent and in disarray. That Obito. I wonder how many people is he manipulating this very instance. What What? It's not me. What are you talking about? Waken incredulously looks at the group. It must be some sort of misunderstanding. He frantically shakes his hand in denial. Fuji. I have followed you since the Second Shinobi War. I had your back multiple times during the Third Shinobi War and even before that. How am I a traitor? If I was a traitor, then I had multiple opportunities to end your life. Waken argues with Fuji. True. Uncle Waken had the opportunity to kill me or father during multiple missions. Mai states the facts. Well. Ao, why don't you narrate what you saw a few months ago? Fuji nods to Ao. Yes. Fuji-sama. Ao nods his head and explains. I had my suspicion of someone being a spy. Ao turns towards Izuna. Izuna grins at Ao. So I raised the security of the Terumi mansion and often I would personally oversee the patrol duty. Elder Genji nods his head in praise. Ao explains the entire series of events to them. So, you saw Uncle Waken sneak out of the Terumi mansion and communicate with a masked person outside Kiri. Ao nods his head. Yes. I happened to be on patrol duty that night. I would usually survey the entire Terumi compound with my Bakugan before calling it a day. So, I chanced upon Waken-san secretly moving out of the Terumi compounds one such night. Out of curiosity and suspicion, I followed after him. No, he is lying. It wasn't me, my loyalty lies with the Fuji-san. I will never betray him. Waken shakes his head in a frenzy. Crack. Izuna raises his head and looks towards Waken. Was it my imagination, or did I hear the sound of something shattering in pieces? Izuna looks around to spot the faint sound. Ah! Waken clutches his head and shouts in agony. Ah! No! He draws a kunai from his holster and dashes towards Fuji. Stop him, he has gone mad. Elder Genji orders the Anbu units. Lava release, sealing ash technique. Fuji makes some hand signs and slams his palm on the ground. Whoosh! Molten ash erupts from the ground and seals Waken in his place. Izuna frowns as he activates his main Gekyo Sharingan to inspect Waken's mind. There is a tiny sealing formula around his brain. This sealing pattern, it was sealing his memories. So, this Waken guy was a sleeper agent hidden in the Kiri. But how could that be? He was present in Kiri during the Second Shinobi War. Obito was a newborn child at that time. So it couldn't be him, unless... Izuna's eyes widen as he speculates. It must be grandfather. Izuna inspects Waken's mind again. He notices a tiny black rod inserted in Waken's brain. Black rod, so it is a Rinnegan technique, no wonder. I couldn't figure out the nature of the jutsu. I just noticed the disturbance in his chakra and speculated it to be the work of genjutsu, but it was beyond my imagination. I wonder, how strong was grandfather in his prime? A grin appears on Izuna's face as he thinks of a showdown with his grandfather. What's going on? Fuji question Elder Genji. Ao frowns and activates his Bakugan. He seems to be under the effect of a powerful genjutsu. Ao notices the disruption in Waken's chakra flow. Can you dispel it? I don't want one of my close subordinates and friend to fall under someone's scheme. Fuji asks Ao. I will give it a try. Ao approaches Waken and places his hand on Waken's forehead. He infuses a little chakra in Waken's chakra system to disrupt his chakra flow. Waken clutches his forehead as it bloats out. Get back, he is about to explode. Elder Genji warns Ao. Boom. Waken's body explodes violently. The explosion covers a large area and blows away the barrier. Ao barely manages to avoid the explosion as he stares at the explosion with wide eyes. What kind of jutsu was this? Fuji turns towards Elder Genji in bewilderment. I have never seen or heard of such a technique before. Elder Genji shakes his head in denial. Crack, crack. Fuji clenches his fists tightly as he stares at the remains of Waken. He was under a very powerful genjutsu, and when Ao tried to dispel the genjutsu, it triggered the explosion. Elder Genji mutters. Sigh. Fuji closes his eyes as he mourns the death of his friend. Yet, I lost another friend during such cruel times. His back hunches a little as he takes supports against a tree while staring at the remains of his friend. My comforts Fuji as she hugs him tightly. Izuna stares at the crater as he thinks to himself. That sealing formula was a Fuinjutsu technique. If I remember correctly, it was based on memory concealing manipulative mind technique, but it seems like grandfather modified the jutsu with his Rinnegan. Wheeze. Izuna takes a deep breath. I wonder how my grandfather learned Fuinjutsu. Now I curious to know the extent of powers of Rinnegan. The original Naruto never truly revealed the full potential of Rinnegan, except the 7 paths and some unique jutsu. All Otsutsukis had their version of Rinnegan with unique powers. I wonder when would I awaken my Rinnegan? Izuna touches his eyes. It has been 10 years since I injected Hashirama cells in my body. Inside a secret hideout. Home. Black Zetsu raises his head as he gazes in a direction. Looks like the sleeper did its job. He enters underground and a giant tree with a figure protruding out from its trunk appears in his vision. The body of this incarnation of Asura was truly unique. Black Zetsu stares at the figure of Hashirama protruding out from the chakra tree. Sage body, so that's what it is called. The memories passed by the mother have some information about it. The group continues the journey. Home. Izuna spots the enemy ninjas hiding in ambush. We are there. I can see them in a distance. Ao informs Fuji and the group as he monitors his surroundings with the Bakugan. It's time for payback. We will eradicate the tumor of Kiri, once and for all. Fuji signals the hidden Anbu members. Whoosh, whoosh. The Anbu members make some hand signs. Cooperation ninjutsu, demonic illusion, steaming mirage mirror genjutsu. The group of shinobi slams their hands on the ground. Multiple water vapors in the atmosphere coalesce in front of them. The water mirrors reflect light and create a wide area of genjutsu in the area. The group slowly approaches the ambush spot. He. They are here. It's time to finish off what we started earlier. Akifumi notices Fuji's group and signals his subordinates to finish them off with a cutthroat gesture. Swish. Swish. The shinobis on Akifumi's side throws multiple kunai with paper bombs towards Fuji's group. Boom. The paper bombs explode on top of Fuji's group in an enormous explosion. Ha ha. Ha ha. Akifumi grins in laughter. Now, add the finishing touches, in case someone survived. Yes. Akifumi-sama. Anbu members make multiple hand signs. Water style, water bullet barrage. They shoot multiple water bullets in rapid succession inside the dust cloud. The barrage continues for a few minutes before they finish their assault. Whoosh. Whoosh. One of the Anbu members, who appears to be the leader of the group, jumps inside the dust cloud. Watch out for any survivors and finish them off. He makes some hand gestures towards the rest of the group. Multiple Anbu members take out their kunai and blades and enter inside the mist cloud created by their earlier technique. They fell for our trap. Ao reports to Fuji. Elder Genji nods his head. This technique was created by the second Mitsukage, and it was one of his signature technique. Lord Genjetsu would summon his clam and create a mist field in the area to create a mirage of himself. Later, he passed this technique to his aides while modifying it according to the group. Elder Genji explains the origin of the technique. This technique works similar to a mirage in a desert. The oasis in the desert appears closer than its actual distance. So, using the countless water droplets in the atmosphere as a medium, the technique projects an illusion of us, at a faraway distance, while we are away from that place. Lord Second was invincible with this technique. Even the second Sushikage was helpless against this technique. Sadly, these Shinobis aren't on his level yet, and it requires a large amount of chakra to constantly maintain this illusion. Fuji signals to his Anbu group. Clean them up, also capture their leader. Whoosh, whoosh. The Anbu members of Fuji's group enter into the illusion. Slash, slash. One by one they start to slaughter the enemy Anbu group who are trapped inside the genjutsu. The war is pretty much over at this point. What I am most interested in is the aftermath of this civil war. I wonder if there are some surprises hidden somewhere in Kiri. Izuna raises his eyebrow as he looks at the slaughter of the enemy Anbu group. No matter which nation, blood is shed everywhere. Peace is a pipeline dream in this world. You need great power to achieve true peace, but again that will make it the rule of a tyrant who orders the rest of the world from the top of the world. Kaguya failed to achieve peace using such way. Izuna shakes his head while thinking of such a notion. There is no such things as eternal conflicts, only eternal benefits. He comes to an understanding of the true nature of this world as something clicks in his mind. Thinking of which, what was the real reason behind the betrayal of Kaguya, why she backstabbed Ishiki? Guess, there is only one way to find it out. Akifumi frowns as he watches the group of his Anbu enter inside the fog but not exiting it out. What's going on? What is taking them so long? I wanted to see the dead bodies of the Fuji Terumi and that traitor Genji who betrayed us and joined hands with the middle faction. He waves his hand and sends another group of Anbu members inside the fog. After waiting for a while, there is no sign of his Anbu group anywhere. A frown appears on his face. These damn idiots. I have to take the command in my own hands. Akifumi walks in front of the mist. He makes multiple hand signs. Water release, raging torrent wave. He slams his palms on the ground and releases a large torrent of water. The torrent sweeps through the battlefield, clearing away the mist. Some subordinates get caught in the jutsu while others manage to avoid it. A frown appears on Akifumi's face as he notices the dead bodies of his Anbus. It was a trap. Akifumi jumps back and avoids a kunai thrown his way. He notices Fuji standing at a distance. Unforgivable, your sins are unforgivable, you ordered your man to kill so many of the elite shinobis of the noble faction. Akifumi gnashes his teeth in rage. I have heard enough of your crap, it was your group who attacked us first, we only counterattacked. Fuji clenches his fists in anger. What are you waiting for? Capture and tie him up. He signals the Anbu group. Crack. Crack. Akifumi cracks his neck. You are underestimating the power of my Mitsu clan. My grandfather Byakuran Mitsu was the first Mitsukage. He attained that position solely based on his strength, and I am not a pushover either. Whoosh, whoosh. Akifumi makes multiple hand signs and slams his palms on the ground. Water release, 1,000 feeding sharks. A giant fountain of water erupts from the ground. The water morphs into multiple water sharks which swarm towards the Anbu group. The sharks swarm the already exhausted Anbu members. HMPH. Fuji snorts and makes some hand signs. Fire release, searing pulse wave. Fuji infuses large amounts of chakra and spits out a wave of flame. The waves pulses and explodes into more flames covering a large area. Both the water jutsu and the fire jutsu cancel each other, creating an enormous amount of mist. Let me assist you, father. My dash is towards the battlefield. There is no need for that. Izuna stops her. Why? A confused expression appears on her face. Izuna points towards the Anbu group as he whispers to her. These people obey your father because of his strength, but recently they doubted his capabilities when rumors of his health were spread through the Kirigakyo. To gain their respect and trust again, Fuji-san needs to showcase his strength to them. Indeed. Elder Genji agrees with Izuna. Clang, clang. Multiple clashes occur inside the fog as Izuna calmly observes their fight. Fuji Terumi has an advantage in this fight. This Akifumi Mitsu has greater reserves of chakra, but Fuji has more battle experience. Unless Akifumi pulls out a hidden technique from his ass, there is no way Fuji will lose this fight. But it is still a miracle. Fuji Terumi can fight in such a serious condition. I wonder how he survived this long. He notices a large lump of flesh clumped in Fuji's lungs. This is a strange disease I have never seen before. Itakai's illness blocks his chakra pathway in the lungs, but in Fuji's case, it has become a part of his flesh. Maybe I can study it to find a cure for Itakai's illness. Clang, clang. Fuji and Akifumi engage each other for a while. Whoosh. Akifumi jumps back and makes multiple hand signs. Mitsu clan secret technique, water release, endless drizzle of death. He clasps his hands together. Pitter. Patter. Multiple water droplets coalesce behind Akifumi. Akifumi stretches out his palms and directs them towards Fuji. Whoosh, whoosh. The water droplets shoot towards Fuji at near supersonic speeds. Fuji makes multiple hand signs in a matter of seconds as he slams his palms on the ground. Lava release, smoldering geyser of flames. Burble. Burble. Multiple lava pits appear on the ground as various columns of lava erupt from them. The lava columns block the water bullet rain. Boom. A large column of lava erupts beneath Akifumi and scorches him. Ah! Akifumi yells in agony and passes out. Cough. Cough. Fuji coughs a little and falls to the ground. Mai hurriedly supports him. It has been a while since I pushed myself this much. Fuji turns towards the Anbu group and signals them. Tie him up, we need to interrogate him. The Anbu group captures Akifumi and Elder Genji places a sealing talisman to seal his chakra. Ao, search through his memories, we may find some clues about Waken's death from him. Ao nods his head and approaches Akifumi. He makes a hand seal and places his hand on Akifumi's head. Be careful. Ao, there might be a similar seal placed on his mind. Elder Genji warns him. Ao activates his Bakugan and inspects the chakra system of Akifumi. Looks like he is also under the effect of a very powerful genjutsu. Ao notices the irregular flow of chakra in Akifumi's brain. He hesitates for a while before he turns to Elder Genji. I am sorry. Genji-sama, this genjutsu is beyond my capabilities. I might be able to dispel it, but it may result in an explosion similar to Waken's case. Elder Genji frowns before he shakes his head. Then, there is no need to dispel it, we will eventually find out the truth, once we reach the village. But Elder Genji, who could be the person manipulating him? If he has an ulterior motive against Kirigakyo, then it won't bode well for us. Mai interrupts Elder Genji's thoughts. Indeed. I have never seen such powerful genjutsu techniques. Well, then, we have to continue the journey to the center of the land of water and talk with Daimyo. Elder Genji signals an Anbu to carry Akifumi. In a faraway hideout. Black Zetsu frowns as he looks in Kiri's direction. That pawn has fulfilled his purpose. I don't need him anymore. Black Zetsu walks near the giant chakra tree in the center of the hideout. He draws out a black rod inserted inside the tree. Yin-yang, mind-body destruction release. Zetsu infuses some chakra in the black rod and stabs it into the ground. The rod releases some chakra which seeps through the ground and vanishes from vision. Izuna walks alongside the group while monitoring the changes in Fuji's body. That lump of flesh survives on the user's chakra by continuously draining it from their chakra system. In a sense, it is similar to the exploding insect technique of that bunch. I wonder if lightning chakra can be used to extract or destroy this lump of flesh. If it works, then I will be able to cure Takai too. Father, don't push yourself this much again. Mai supports Fuji as they walk along the forest. Ao continues to inspect their surroundings. What's with this uneasy feeling? Izuna feels a tingling sensation in his back. He immediately looks around for the source. Whoosh! He senses a strange chakra traversing beneath the ground. What's with this chakra? Before he could speculate about the nature of the chakra seeps into Akifumi's body. Akifumi squeals in pain and clutches his head. Oh no! This surge of chakra is even greater than before. The resulting explosion will annihilate everything in the surrounding vicinity. I can easily evade the perimeter of the explosion, but the same can't be said about them. This is. The eyes of the rest of the group widen as the body of Akifumi bloats into a sphere before compressing into a small glowing red mass of chakra. Ao inspects the blob with his Bakugan and warns the rest of them. Genji-sama, this lump of chakra is about to explode and... Gulp. Ao gulps his saliva as he informs the group. The resultant explosion will annihilate everything in the circumference of 1 kilometer. What? Fuji and Mai's eyes widen. Elder Genji throws multiple sealing talismans from his storage scroll. Barrier talisman, armored 6 trigram. The sealing talismans float in the air and forms multiple fuinjutsu seals. The seals erect a purple hexagonal barrier around them. Fuji and the group look at the barrier with relief. It won't be able to hold that explosion. Izuna shakes his head. What do you mean by that? One of the Anbu members angrily questions him. Our life depends on this barrier. We can't outrun the explosion, this barrier is our last resort to survive. Another Anbu snaps at him. Stop your bullshit. If you want to die, then go ahead and leave the protection of this barrier. Many Anbu members rebuke Izuna. Elder Genji has an ugly expression on his face as he states the truth. He is right, the barrier won't be able to hold against that explosion. Elder Genji drops a bombshell of news on them. Then this means, all of us will die for nothing. No. Some younger ninja clutches their head in reluctance. Sigh. Some middle-aged ninjas sigh in helplessness as they surrender to their fate. Mai clutches her fist tightly as she stares at the lump of chakra. I won't give up this easily. She makes multiple hand signs and slams her palms on the ground. Earth release, multi-layered rock dome. Mai erects multiple rock domes around the group. It's no use. Ao shakes his head. This rock dome can't prevent this explosion. Mai bit on her lower lip and holds her father's hand. Father, at least. I will die alongside you. Sigh. Fuji sighs and caresses her head. I never expected my final moments would end up like this. Izuna silently stares at the interaction of various Kiri Shinobis. I can only teleport a maximum of 4 people at a time with the Flying Thunder God technique. But that won't be the ideal case scenario. I don't have any attachment to this group of people, maybe besides Mai, since she was my teammate, but if I only save her, then Kiri will be weakened after this civil war with no one lead to their forces. Fuck it. Why do I care about hiding my identity in the first place? Boom. The Akifumi bomb blows up, creating a tall pillar of red chakra from its center. The explosion travels at an extremely fast speed and engulfs the barrier. Crumble. Crumble. The barrier instantly crumbles under the power of the explosion. The rock dome shatters into countless dust fragments in an instant. Mai closes her eyes as the red pillar of light engulfs her. Susanoo, Yaeta no Kigami. Boom. The explosion engulfs the group. A giant pillar of red light rises into the atmosphere as it engulfs the surrounding forest. The large pillar of light sustains for a few seconds before it vanishes, leaving behind pure destruction in its wake. Inside Kiri. In a small house. Kimimaro is laying on the ground while his body is covered in sweat. He feels a tingling sensation on his back as the seal on his spine glows with a cyan hue. Whoosh! He notices a giant pillar of red light rising in the atmosphere at a very faraway distance. Boom! The red pillar of light is followed by a very loud noise as the sound of the explosion almost deafens the ears of the nearby villagers. What's going on? Kimimaro jumps on top of the roof and looks at the explosion. Somehow, I feel like the messenger-san is inside that explosion. Kimimaro clutches his fists. I believe in messenger-san. Kimimaro takes out a small diary and writes in it. Explosions are cool. He closes the diary and pockets it. Inside a large manor in the center of the Kiri village. A group of elders stares at the sight of the large pillar as they discuss among themselves. What kind of technique is this? One of the elder questions the rest of the group. I have no idea about it. Probably some sort of forbidden ninjutsu. I have heard of a similar technique. The old elders tap his fingers on the table. During the Third Shinobi War, the leader of a small hidden clan called Tsuchigumo clan developed a very powerful kinjutsu. The kinjutsu was powerful enough to easily annihilate a hidden village into dust in a matter of seconds. The leader of the clan En no Gyoha used this powerful jutsu to annihilate an entire island during the Third Shinobi War. After witnessing the potency of this kinjutsu, the third Hokage of the Leaf Village signed a pact with the Tsuchigumo clan to prevent the misuse of the technique. The old elder takes out a scroll from his pocket and places it on the table. You mean to say that Akifumi managed to get his hands on such a powerful technique? The rest of the elders frowns at the possibility. I am not sure about the nature of the technique, but it seems to be the case. The old elder nods his head. No wonder. He had such confidence when he led the ambush. Other elders nod their heads. Inside a small restaurant. A cloaked figure raises his head as he stares at the gigantic explosion. Art, this is art. The eyes of the figure shine in amazement while staring at the explosion. We had a contract, you bomb the Hashigano village, and we pay. A hoarse voice interrupts him. HMPH. Look at these fools, they have no appreciation for art. The cloaked figure turns towards the source of the voice. He grabs a stack of cash from a brawny guy and counts it. The cloaked figure walks out of the restaurant. You have to feel art. And true art is an explosion. Katsu. Boom. Susanoo, Yaita no Kigami. A giant silver construct of chakra appears in front of the group. It has golden arm guards and braces. The giant construct places down a colossal dark black shield of chakra in front of the group. Boom. The explosion detonates on the shield. Swirl. The shield absorbs the entire force of the explosion, guarding the Kiri Shinobis. Mai slowly opens her eyes. Her eyes widen in trepidation as she stares at the giant chakra construct with fear. Fuji, Elder Genji, and Ao stare at the colossal humanoid construct of chakra rivaling the height of a small hill with fear. Gulp. Ao gulps his saliva and speaks. It is. Yuito Yuki. He points towards Izuna with shaky hands. Fuji and Elder Genji turns towards the lower part of the Susanoo and notices Izuna standing in the center of the humanoid construct with a serious expression. Boom. The explosion lasts for a while as the shield absorbs the major force of the explosion. Release. The Susanoo lifts the shield and points it towards the sky. Boom. The shield releases a red column of energy as it deflects the entire force of the explosion towards the sky. Phew. Izuna heaves a sigh of relief and dispels his Susanoo. We are saved, we are saved. The Kiri Shinobis celebrate in joy as they merrily hug each other. And here goes my cover. Izuna sighs to himself and walks towards Mai and the group. Well, we somehow survived. He smiles at the group as he tries to ease some tension. Who are you? Fuji raises his guard with a kunai in his hand, ready to fight. Hey. Why don't you calm down for a while? Old man. If I wanted to kill you, then I wouldn't have saved you, to begin with. Izuna raises his hands. Humph. Fuji snorts and lowers his guard. Why don't you reveal your actual identity? I am sure you are not a member of the Yuki clan. I have never heard or seen Yuki clan members using such a powerful defensive technique. He questions Izuna. Very well, it's not like you can do anything to me either way. Izuna dispels his disguise and reveals his identity. You are. The eyes of Kiri Shinobis widen in surprise. They immediately raise their guard and draw out their kunai and shurikens, ready to fight him. Izuna Uchiha, one of the most feared adversaries in the Shinobi world. An S-rank ninja, the sighting of whom means certain death for the enemies. When faced with him, the only choice is to surrender. As for fleeing, has someone escaped from the Scythe of Reaper before? Ao has a grim expression on his face as he learns about Ajuna's identity. What are you going to do with us? Mai draws out a kunai from her holster and takes a fighting stance. The people of Kirigakyo are no cowards. We won't go down without a fight. Whoosh! Ajuna vanishes from his position and reappears in front of Mai. Boo! He silently whispers in her ear. What are you doing? Mai is flustered by this surprise attack. Fast, he is too fast. He is leagues ahead of third Reikage in terms of speed. Fuji clenches his fist as the memories of the second Shinobi War flashes through his mind. Third Reikage was such a monster during the war, but he seems nothing compared to this man in front of us. Ha ha! Izuna laughs at Mai while holding his stomach. Sorry to surprise you like that, Lady Mai. But your reaction was very cute. What? Mai blushes a little from the compliment. Ahem. Fuji clears his throat. Mai regains her calm and turns to Izuna. Don't call me Lady Mai again. Fuji, Elder Genji, and Ao silently stare at her. Cough. Fuji coughs a little as he questions Izuna. What's the motive of Konoha for sending such an elite ninja of their village to infiltrate Kirigakyo? Should we assume that Konoha has ulterior motives against Kirigakyo and sent you to gather intel in Kiri? The expression of nearby shinobis turns serious as they stare at Izuna with a predatory gaze. No. It's not like that. I am not representing Konoha in this matter. This is my personal matter. Izuna waves his hands in denial. Then what are your intentions for infiltrating our Terumi clan? Fuji has a frown on his face. That. Izuna points towards Mai and explains. Well, I was minding my own business and was traveling. Miss Mai happens to be in a little trouble and I helped her, but she won't just let go of me that easily. She forged my identity as a Yuki clan member on her own, and I required a suitable identity, so I played along. Ha ha. Izuna chuckles as he teases Mai. Am I correct? Lady Mai. You bastard, stop with that nonsense. Mai has a tick mark on her forehead as she grabs Ao's collar in anger. Why I am the one suffering her wrath? Ao questions himself. Well, that was indeed her fault, but you helped us a lot in this civil war, and the Terumi clan is grateful for that. Also, thanks for saving the life of my people. Fuji bows his head in gratitude. Well, I was just doing my investigation, there is no need to thank me. Izuna shakes his head. Would you like to enlighten us, what were you investigating in Kiri? Elder Genji questioned Izuna. Well, you can choose not to tell us, for either way, we can't force you. But it is a matter of Kiri's safety and I won't lay down idly knowing that Kiri is in danger. Elder Genji clutches his staff. Since you want to know the details, then I would be honest with you. All of you must have heard about the attack on the Uchiha clan almost 2 years ago. Izuna asks them. The Kiri group nods their head in approval. I am tracking down the tracks of the killer and it led me to Kiri, Izuna explains to them. Ha! Ao frowns as he questions Izuna. Wasn't the attack orchestrated by one of the elder of Konoha together with the Akatsuki? Yes, but it is not the entire truth. I investigated the matter in detail and got to know more about it. Izuna turns towards Elder Genji and questions him. I am pretty sure, you haven't seen or heard of such a powerful technique before. Izuna points towards the remains of the forest. That's true. Elder Genji nods his head. Yes, if my suspicion is correct, then it is the same person who attacked my Uchiha clan. He is also the one manipulating the leaders of Kirigakyo, and if my assumption is correct, then the current Mitsukage is also under his control. Izuna calmly reveals the facts to them. Anyway, I have to make some excuse for my stay in Kiri. I will throw Obito under the bus for this one. Technically, it is the truth. What? The eyes of Kiri Shinobis widen after hearing this revelation. So, our Mitsukage-sama is being manipulated by someone. The group frantically discusses among themselves. Enough. Fuji roars at them. It is still a speculation. We can't be sure of the situation unless we confirm it by ourselves. True. Elder Genji agrees with Fuji. Hey. Yuito. I mean Izuna Uchiha, can you check the condition of my father once? I have heard that you are a student of Tsunade Senju, the best medic-nin of the Shinobi world. My requests him. It is an excellent opportunity to develop some friendly relationship with Kirigakyo. I want Itakai to become the next Hokage, it will help him a lot. Sure, but I have a condition. Izuna agrees to her request. Mai's expression turns ugly as a frown appears on her face. Her voice turns cold as she questions him. What condition? If it under our capabilities, then we will agree to it, otherwise forget about this conversation. Wait a minute, hear me out first. Izuna appeases her. I want to develop a friendly relationship between Konoha and Kirigakyo. Regardless of the relationship, I will try my best to cure your father. Izuna relays his intention to them. Well, we can have such a discussion after we deal with this matter at hand first. Lord Daimyo is still waiting for us. Fuji interrupts them. All right. Mai nods his head. Fuji heaves a sigh in relief. This girl is just like her mother. She would remain calm most of the time, but for her loved ones, she will flare up. Well, it is part of the reason. I loved Miko. Why don't you folks wait here, while I lead clan leader Fuji to meet Daimyo? Izuna proposes to the group. That's a good idea. Mai nods her head. With your summon, it won't take us long to arrive there. Elder Genji nods his head in approval and signals to the rest of the Shinobis. All of you, wait for us here. We will unite with you after the meeting. Summoning Jutsu. Izuna summons his giant eagle. Mai hops on it. I don't want an old geezer to hug my thighs while flying. Izuna makes some hand signs and creates some seats made out of ice for them to sit. Whoosh! The eagle leaps into the air and soars into the sky. Mai turns to Izuna as she bites her lower lip. Izuna notices her expression and asks her. What's the matter? Do you want to say something? Well. Mai hesitates for a while before asking him. I know it is rude to ask a ninja about his techniques, but I am curious to know, how are you able to use ice release techniques? As far as I know, it was never stated in your information in the bingo book. Oh. That, you won't ever see it in a bingo book. After I heard about my bounty, I paid a visit to the people maintaining the bingo book. I just beat all of them, and edited my information. You are joking, right? No. I am serious. That's it guys, hope you like this video. This was the season 2 of this series. Like, share and subscribe the channel if you want more videos like this. Also tell me in the comment section down below if you have any recommendation about what I should make next. Thanks for watching.